could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming.
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everybody doing this morning? How is everyone doing? Good morning. Elwood, good morning. Bonnie, Shake Money. J Pagan 1, good morning. How is everyone doing this morning? Thank God it's Friday. Who's looking forward to this weekend? I hope you have lots of plans, are able to relax, whatever your thing is on your weekends. Maybe you got to work. You know. Not everybody gets Fridays off, Saturdays off, Sundays off. You know, some people got to work, unfortunately. Glenn, what's up? You back at it? Back at what? What am I back at? Back at it. So we're going to be taking a look at some important dates coming up for the Miami Dolphins. Also, I've been thinking about this Jalen Ramsey trade. You know, he rated out pretty good as a corner last year. He's only got, what's he count, 10 million against the cap the next 2 years. Doing the podcast. I've been doing the podcast. What are you talking about, Glenn? I've been here every day. Am I in the Twilight Zone? Glenn, what are you talking about? I've been here every day, right? I wasn't here yesterday. But what's he, a $10 million hit against salary cap the next 2 seasons for a top, let's say he's top 15 in the league. Why shouldn't we be able to get more for Jalen Ramsey? Why shouldn't we be able to get more? Why are we restricted to a 5th or a 4th round pick for Jalen Ramsey? You think we should be able to get more? You think we should be able to get more? Again, we need to add at least 2 corners, in my opinion. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that through the offseason. But the Miami Dolphins they've already started phase 1 of their offseason program, which started April 21st. And this part of train, that is what I'm dating you back at it doing the podcast. Not easy to do during the off season. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. The next 2 years is 10 million though, right, Scotty? I had just read this morning something about the 10 million a year cap it, that he only counts 10 million a year. I just read it this morning. And now I won't be able to find it. But yeah, but the Dolphins started their offseason program April 21st. This part of the offseason program is completely voluntary. Okay, it's 10 million is just his base. 10 million is just his base salary. Okay. Okay. All right, Scotty. That's my misunderstanding then. I wouldn't let him pick where he wants to go. Like, why are we putting all this power into this guy's hands? Okay, Scotty, my bad. Why are we letting him pick where he wants to go? Like, give me a break. Give me a break. So phase 1 is 2 weeks long, and it includes team and position meetings, strength and conditioning work, any injury rehabilitation, strength and conditioning coaches are the only coaches allowed on the field during any workouts. So these workouts are led by the players. It's in his contract, what, a no trade clause? Well, he got a no trade clause in his contract, so he gotta accept any trade. He's the one that want to be traded. If you want to be traded, you'll go where we want you to go. Exactly, Scotty. I'm not doing that. You'll be a Miami Dolphin or you'll go where we send you. So what in his contract could dictate where he goes? If he doesn't have a no trade contract or no trade, how can he dictate where he goes? What in his contract dictates that? But anyway, yeah, phase 1 started April 21st. Again, this is just it's a player led drills on the field. The only coaches allowed on the field are strength and conditioning coaches. They're a maximum of 90 minutes on the field only. Dead ball drills only. So there's no 7-on-7s, nothing like that. Dead ball drills include quarterbacks throwing the wide receivers without any coverage, kickers and punters kicking with no snappers or players fielding the kicks, long snappers snapping into a net. Defensive players are prohibited from catching a ball no matter who is throwing it. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. So that runs for 2 weeks. I actually got the dates here somewhere, I think. So the first day, April 21st, rookie minicamp starts May 9th through the 11th. OTA off-season workouts, May 27th through the 28th, May 30th, June 2nd through the 3rd, and June 5th. Mandatory minicamp is June 10th through the 12th. And then I think they get like a month off and then they come back for training camp, which I'm not sure if the training camp date is set yet, but last year I think they started August 18th. Or not August, July 18th. July 18th, I think they started. So phase 2, let's see. Phase 2 is the next 3 weeks. Players can start getting in the practice field with coaches. Workouts are limited to individuals or group instruction and drills, perfect play drills, walkthroughs with the offense and defense lining up against themselves. No offense versus defensive work, though. There's also no one-on-one work. Players cannot wear helmets. Phase 2 is also limited to 4 hours per day. Miami's phase 2 for 2025 runs from May 5th to May 25th. Off-season training program phase 3. The final 4 weeks of the training program include up to 10 days of organized team activities, OTAs. Spread over 3 weeks. No live contact is allowed during this phase, but teams begin to work offense versus defense in 7-on-7, 9-on-7, and 11-on-11 team drills. Phase 3 also includes the mandatory minicamp. Restrictions on the schedule include teams being allowed 3 OTA days during each of the first 2 weeks, with a one-time exception for a 4th day in one of the weeks, but phase 2 rules apply to that day. Helmets are permitted during phase 3, as are knee and elbow pads. Phase 3 allows for up to 6 hours per day of work. Miami's phase 3 runs from May 26th to June 22nd. Minicamp is part of phase 3 with the same on-field rules applying. Teams may have the players in the facility for up to 10 hours per day over the 3 days of on-field minicamp work, but will not exceed 24 total hours for the camp. Minicamp is technically a week beginning on Monday and running through Friday. Monday is limited to physicals with no practices allowed. Tuesday through Thursday, teams are allowed to hold 2 practices each day for a total of 3.5 hours on the field, with the second practice limited to a walkthrough. Friday is a mandatory day off for each team. Man, there's so many rules to this. There's so many rules to their off-season thing. So many rules. These guys are, you wonder why they start out the season not great. They barely play in preseason. You got all these restrictions on what they can do in the offseason. Like, these guys are millionaire players, and there's restrictions on how you can work them out. Dolphins 2025 OTAs and minicamp schedule. During head coach Mike McDaniel's tenure, the Dolphins have typically only used 6 of their allotted 10 OTA days, and that continues with this year's schedule. How come we're only using 6 of the 10? These guys got enough days off. How come we're only using 6 of the 10? How come? Dang, it says we got 74 people on X. If you're over on X, come over to YouTube. Join us over on YouTube. Pretty please join the Finn Posse podcast on YouTube. Rookie training program. Every team may also conduct a 7-week rookie training program. The program must take place during weekdays, except for the team's rookie minicamp, which will occur on Friday through Monday, either the weekend after the NFL draft or the weekend following that. The rookie training program begins on May 12th for all teams. The Dolphins' rookie minicamp schedule has not been published. Dolphins training camp schedule. The Dolphins NFL preseason will open with the annual Hall of Fame game on July 31st. Though the teams have not been announced, the rest of the teams will open their preseason schedule around August 7th through the 10th. Exact training camp schedules have not been released, but teams will likely open camp around July 17th. Yeah, I said the Dolphins opened last year at July 18th, 3 weeks before the preseason games, with rookies eligible to report a week earlier. Yeah, it says I got 76 people over on X. Come over to YouTube. Hit the like button over here. Join us. I do got a video, a light video to show you. Let me see. So this was the other day. Yeah, your boy Jalen Waddle going out for some passes. You got your boy Tua out there slinging the rock. Look at that tight spiral. Hitting H-hand. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that thing. Boy's getting that work in. And then there's another little video I want to show you. It's like a hype video for the rookies. I don't know if you can.
Kenneth Graham, Michigan. Jonah Savaianaya. He can really scoop. Physical in the run game.
It's either you're going to get out my way or I'm going to run through you.
Ewers firing into the end zone. Touchdown. Dante Trader.
Jordan Phillips.
Yeah! Back together, dog. I can't wait to get the play.
That play blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Complete. What a play by Marshall.
Yeah, so a couple little quick videos get you a little hyped up about the Rooks.
Kenneth Graham, Michigan.
Couple nice little videos get you hyped up about the Rooks. Scotty, you said right looks jacked. You know, I'm really starting to get pumped on Ali. He was the best running back in college football in 2023. But he was the best running back in college football in 2023. He was absolutely phenomenal. And if you watch this guy's cutback and the way he hits those holes, he's absolutely phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. He is something that he is something that this team has been missing. And I think he could, you know, does he have the breakaway speed like that? No. But I'm not concerned with that. Listen, I can see him by the end of the season doing a 50-50 split for the carries. I really could. This kid is phenomenal. He brings that aspect to that backfield that we haven't had, that power rushing attack where he ain't just going to be taken down with the first hit. He ain't going to be taken down with that first hit. Dang, 105 over on X. Are you serious? Make sure you hit that like button. If you're over on X watching, I don't know if that numbers are real. 105, Jesus. Come over and join us on YouTube, the Finn Posse Podcast. But yeah, My thought, Wright will be our feature outside zone back. Goran will be our feature inside zone. And H-Chain will be utilized as a special weapon. Do you think they give him the first crack at being the all-out starter, though, Scotty? When the season starts, do you think they give H-Chain the first shot at being an all-out starter? Does Kenneth Grant get that Tua treatment? Let's say 7th round pick, DT Biggers does better in camp than 1st round pick. Who gets the start? Grant to the high draft? I mean, Raphael, that's, Raphael, that's a good question. That's a good question. They're obviously going to push Grant. I don't think we got to worry about that problem. I really don't. But that's a good question. That's a good question. They don't want 1st round picks not succeeding. So, they're always going to push Grant, but I don't think we got that. I don't think we got to worry about that. Says, I like Ramsey to Las Vegas for tight end Michael Mayer. Listen, Michael Mayer's he's a nice prospect at tight end, but we need some corner help and we need it bad. Ain't no DT on this roster beating Grant. Jose, I don't think immediately there's going to be a defensive tackle on this team that's going to be better than Grant, but I would not put it past Jordan Phillips in the long run to be a better player than Kenneth Grant. Seriously, I would not be surprised if Jordan Phillips ends up being the better defensive tackle. The kid is super young. He's super hungry. He just wants to work. I have a gut feeling we are moving away from outside zone focus. We're going to see less of it. Salvanea and Daniels can run inside zone, so I'm not sure what to expect because I do see a shift. Yeah, I mean, and there's going to be new wrinkles. Obviously, there's going to be new wrinkles. Hopefully, there's things that we don't expect to happen when the season starts. Hopefully, we don't have the same offense. Phillips and Biggers will not be at nose tackle. Some still aren't understanding where Grant is going to play, even if Michigan he had over 70% in the 3 tech. Yeah, I don't think they're the same player, but I think Phillips has the potential to be. I think Phillips has the potential just to be the better player. I think I like the Phillips pick a lot. That might be my favorite pick of the draft, to be honest. Where we got him, his age, his hunger of the game, the way he plays, I think that's a steal. Bonnie says if Phillips becomes better than Grant, that would be a good problem to have. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as long as Grant ain't no bust, but what Grant does, it's hard to be a bust. Grant's a space eater. Grant's a multiple block taker. It's hard to be a bust when that's what your game is. Good morning, Miller. Good morning. I think as far as the guys we got in the middle, and Biggers too. I like Biggers too. I'm perplexed by the down talking of Grant. Just don't get it. Who's down talking Grant? No one's down talking Grant at all. I love the Grant pick. I think Grant's fabulous. I think Grant's fabulous. I think he's going to be a multiple-time Pro Bowler for this team. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. Just because I like one player and I think he has the potential to be the better player doesn't mean I'm down talking Grant whatsoever. I love Grant. I said I wanted Grant over and over and over. And yeah, Glenn got me on the Will Johnson thing at the very end there, but I was the one yelling for Kenneth Grant the whole time. I was always yelling for Kenneth Grant. That's the defensive tackle I wanted the most. You can like more than one player there, Scotty. I just think at being 20 years old and what he's already done, this kid can be big time. Big C, have you seen any of the videos of people grading the Dolphins draft? After a while, I stopped watching and reading what people thought of the Dolphins draft because everybody had us low. Everybody had us pretty low. That's it. Stop it, Owen. Yeah, I can't watch people. It's very hard for me to listen to the criticism of the Miami Dolphins after, like for instance, if we take a loss during the season, I try to stay away from Sports Center because I just can't take it. I just can't take it. These teams just come at us super hard. You know what I mean? If we win, they don't give us too much praise. But if we lose, they try to bury us. So with the draft, as soon as I seen people started, I went down the list and I seen A+, A-, B+, B-, on all these teams' grades. And then it got to us and it was C-. And I was like, oh, man. Mel Kiper gave us a C, I'm pretty sure, Jose. I'm pretty sure Mel Kiper gave us a C. Mel Kiper's grade on the Miami Dolphins draft. I think that was the first one that I read that I seen. It was like a C. I could be wrong too. Don't let me, He gave it a C+. He gave it a C+. What some of these people who are grading these drafts for the Dolphins fail to realize, they're assuming that Kenneth Grant would have been there if we traded down. We wouldn't have gotten him. Yeah, I don't think if we traded down, we would have probably got him. Shape Money says, I agree, Big C. When Miami wins, it's because they lost. The other team lost, not because Miami played well. Absolutely. Absolutely. You just said the only Jose, you're crazy. You just said the only draft grade that matters is Mel Kiper. Now you said Mel Kiper is garbage. He needs to retire. Jose's crazy. The grades don't even matter because no one knows for sure what their draft picks will work out or not. Absolutely, Bonnie. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, yesterday, someone asked about does Kenneth Grant have a chance at winning Defensive Player of the Year? Absolutely not. He don't. Because what he does doesn't show up in the stats. what he doesn't show up on the stat sheet. "100% corner need. Indeed, Ramsey can kick rocks with his 2 picks. Take Samuel Jr." Yeah, I don't know if they're going to pay as much as what they want, as Samuel wants, though. That's the only thing. I think Samuel Jr. might be that one that is out of the price might be out of price range. Kuiper said Jimmy Clausen would be a great player, or he quit 20 years ago. Yeah, I remember that. Big C, with sports media in general, there's a double standard when it comes to all the sports teams in Miami. Every other team has the same standard, but Miami has this unrealistic one. Yeah, as long as I've been a fan of the Dolphins, which is my whole life, and that's half the reason that I started this podcast, honestly. I got so tired of hearing people bash the Dolphins, and I can never give my point of view. You know what I mean? And I just felt like these guys were so off base with what they were saying about the team. Because these guys watch what the highlight reel of the game, and then they try to give you full analysis on it. I sat there and watched the whole game, and you're going to tell me this is what happened? No, that I watched the whole game. You watched 3 minutes of clips. You know what I mean? These guys don't sit there and watch every game, the whole game. There's not enough time in the day. People need to relax on corner. We're heading to the part of the off season where people who you've never expect are available for trade or they get cut. There's going to be good players coming in June. Miller, yeah, there should be good players that become available, or players that become available via trade. But you can't be upset with people that are antsy. You can't be upset with people that are antsy because there's no guarantee, even if these players become available, that Chris Greer necessarily goes out and gets them. Now, I gave Chris Greer his flowers on this draft. I did. But I'm not giving him I'm not taking away his whole past. Big C, do you agree with me, though, that to truly see how successful a draft class is, you have to wait 5 years to actually grade it? I mean, I think you can grade it by how many players you're willing to re-sign out of that draft class. If your whole draft class you're not willing to re-sign any of them, I mean, obviously that draft class was a failure. If you wanna extend everybody that was in that class, I mean, it was a success. You know what I mean? Maybe a player doesn't reach the potential that you thought he would, but if they're a good player and you want to bring them back to your team, I mean, that's a success, right? Philadelphia drafted cornerback first round, safety second round, completed their roster, and won the Super Bowl. It looks to me like Miami's on the same path. Edward, Philadelphia built their team through the trenches. Obviously, we started to do that this year. Let's give it some time. If we go through another draft and build smartly and build this team correctly, then yeah, I mean, I could, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, right? Because I think we can all agree that Jalen Hurts isn't a world beater at quarterback. I got into a disagreement. I do a show on another network. It's called the Hardcore Sports Network, and it's based out of Philadelphia. I think they're all big Philadelphia Eagles fans. Shout out to them. But I got into a disagreement of the creator of that channel about Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl. He's better than he's better than Lamar Jackson. He's better than Josh Allen. He's better. And I was like, bro, ease it down. Ease it down. Jalen Hurts got the best team in the whole NFL surrounding him. And not to shit on Jalen Hurts, but come on. Jalen Hurts isn't better than Josh Allen. He's not better than Lamar Jackson. Did you see the money AVG got this season? Good for him. I think he signed a 1 year, $23, $24 million deal. Good for him. Good for him. I don't think he thought he'd ever sign that. Big C, if we end up picking in the top 10, the guy I want to draft a quarterback is the quarterback from Clemson. I just want a quarterback that can do it all. What's next for the Miami Dolphins? Probably more losing. Cliff, I think this team, if we can get some decent corners and Tua can stay healthy, and I mean, as far as the whole team's got to stay pretty healthy. I mean, 2023, Tua stayed healthy, and the rest of the team bit the bullet, and we all know how that turned out. And every other year, Tua hasn't been able to stay healthy. So it's got to be a combination. I mean, Tua is the most important piece, singular most important piece that we need to stay healthy. But if Tua stays healthy, we'll have an opportunity to compete. We'll have an opportunity to compete. We'll go back to having a top 10, top 5 offense. With the guards that we got, I like how I fully expect us to have a successful year running the ball. And if we have a successful year running the ball, that's going to open up the passing game. But if Tua can stay healthy, we have a chance to compete. We had you can question what the real rank of our defense was last year, because we ranked pretty good as far as points allowed, as far as yardage, but we were in the bottom half of the league as far as turnovers. I mean, every team is not. Cliff, are you a Dolphins fan? I'm questioning if you're a Dolphins fan right now. We do have a lot of ifs on this team, Cliff. If. Ugh. Listen, we do got a lot of question marks on this team. We have a lot of ifs, a lot of ands, a lot of buts. But that's what we got right now, and that's what we got to work with. Are we supposed to just toss in the towel? The trenches won the Super Bowl for Jalen Hurts. Listen, I don't want to take no credit away from Jalen. Jalen played good football. Disgrunted, fin. Yeah, you one of them guys that been hurt. Listen, we've all been hurt. We just all tried to deal with it in a different way. You have attracted a large portion of the Shake. It's too early to be drinking, brother. It's too early to be drinking. Why does it seem like Mahomes plays playground football? Is it because he does, or is it looks like he's playing playground football with Andy Reid's scheme? I think they're very good at when a play breaks down, making something happen. They don't give up on it. They trust Patrick Mahomes to be smart with the football. So I don't think they draw up a play that'll look like a playground play. You know what I mean? I don't say they're like Mahomes. take a left at the flagpole. You know what I mean? I just think that they're super good at when a play breaks down, adjusting on the fly. Have to build corner. We overpay all the time for a player. Give up a draft pick. We have a good amount of picks next draft. Josh Allen is getting better. We can have our weakest spot at corners. Listen, is it just me, or does it feel like if we could add 2 or 3 players to this team, like we could seriously compete for it? You know, I think if we added 2 or 3 key pieces to this team, could we seriously compete for a championship this year? And I know the Tua haters are going to say, no, not with Tua as quarterback. No, blah, 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 blah. But for real. Cliff, you think if we added three really good players to this team right now, let's say 2 corners and I don't know, you could say safety, you could say numerous positions, a pass rusher. Well, we got about 20 million in cap space right now. If we were to redo Tua's contract, that's 40. If you really want to go all in, you redo Zach Sealer's contract, redo Brooks's contract, we get $50 million. That's 3 good players. If you were really willing to go all in, I'm talking about from right this moment. If you were to add 3 players to this team right now, you don't think the Miami Dolphins could compete for a championship? And to be honest, we could do it with the amount of cap space that we have. We create enough cap space to do it. You do whatever let's say in a perfect world, and this isn't going to happen. But you tell Jalen Ramsey, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get you some help. We're going to get some dogs. You go out, you sign 3 players to this team. You add another corner, you add another safety, you add a pass rusher. I think they could absolutely compete for a Super Bowl. And it makes me question, why don't you just finally, it feels like we attempt to go all in, but we just fall short of it. We've paid all this money. Why not just go a little bit further? But I absolutely think this team is, I think this team's good enough to make the playoffs this year. Obviously, we got to wait and see what happens at corner. I expect Storm Duck to step up this season. I think Storm Duck's going to get some sort of opportunity. I think he's going to play decent in the opportunity that he gets. I don't think he should be a starter, though. But I think Storm Duck has the ability to be a nice situational piece. Yeah, Scotty, we need to add another guard. Absolutely. We're 1 injury away from Eichenberg starting. Ross and Greer will never win. Incompetent. We need Cam Smith to elevate his game the most. You know, the only thing I think Ross deserves criticism about is that he hasn't fired Greer. But other than that, Stephen Ross has done everything in his ability to make this franchise attractive to players. He pays players. So I wouldn't, I think The only thing that Stephen Ross deserves criticism over is the fact that he won't fire Stephen Ross or Chris Greer. Other than that, I think he's a fantastic owner. Like, this is voted the number one franchise in all of football as far as how they take care of their players. He opens up his pocketbook over and over again to give these guys whatever they want. Cornerbacks don't have to cover so long with a good pass rush, and that's true, Elwood. If we're stronger up front and we can get some pressure on the quarterback, that definitely will help the corners. Listen, Cliff, we've been bad for a while. Even with Wayne Huizenga, we haven't won or been super close in a long time. And what has he done? I mean, he's made improvements to the stadium. We got state of the art training facilities. He's brought in big name after big name. I mean, Scotty possibly. Huizenga had good teams. I mean, I think we've had good teams the last few years. We just can't stay healthy. We've had good teams the last few years. We just couldn't stay healthy. Stephen Ross can't help what these guys do when they get on the field. Again, that's not a Ross. How are you going to blame that on the owner? I think Trader wasn't a bad pick. All right, I don't think Trader was a bad ad. It says 193 people are watching on X. I don't know how true that is. If you're over on X, come join us on YouTube, the Fin Posse Podcast, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to get your Miami Dolphins fill. We have a good time over here. If you'd like to comment and share, this is where we do it at over here on YouTube. Yeah, I can't keep track of the comments on both. So if you want to comment and join the show, come over to the YouTube and check us out. We've always been top 10 cash over cap under Ross. Can't ask for more. Eden, he paid for his own renovations. He's a great owner, just needs a better GM. And yeah, that's the criticism you can give him, is that he won't make that move. That's the one thing you can criticize him on, is that he won't make that move. Other than that, you can't blame him because, the teams aren't working out. You can't blame him for that. That's not fair. You can blame him for Chris Greer still being here. That absolutely is his fault. But for anything else, listen, before Stephen Ross was here, you had Don Shula. I mean, Wayne Huizenga didn't really have to worry about that. But I mean, you had Don Shula, who had been here forever, and then you went and hired Jimmy Johnson, which, I mean, when we hired Jimmy, I was a fan because, you know, his success with the Dallas Cowboys, his success with the University of Miami. But then after that, we hired Dave Wannstedt, which was a terrible hire. If our defense carries us again this year, will we still hold on to our offensive core? Miller, you know, the defense only carried us when Tua was hurt. When Tua played, we averaged right under 25 points a game, which I think 25 points a game should be enough to win you football games. Dave Wannstedt was not a good coach, bro. Listen, Dave Wannstedt winning only 10 games with that defense is atrocious. I was not a Dave Wannstedt fan. Y'all can be a Dave Wannstedt fan if you want to. Not me. There was not 14 games then. No, there wasn't. When Wannstedt was the coach, there was 16 games. There was only 14 games then. No way. You're tripping on your pimping, son. What up, Frozen? There was 16 games back when Wannstedt was the coach, brother. Dave has the last playoff win. I feel like we had an all-time great defense when Dave Wannstedt was here. And no offense besides Lamar. They wore leather helmets too. Wannstedt had a hell of a mustache, so yeah. All right, Cliff. You just said we had 14 games in the season back then. I'm uninformed. Yet that Jimmy Johnson gifted him and he wasted. He absolutely did waste it. He gonna unsubscribe to me because Dave Wannstedt wasn't a good coach. He got gifted an all-time great defense that he did nothing with. How he gonna say I'm on? You know, I'm not perfect and I don't know everything, and I admit that. But he said there was 14 games in a season. In what? The year 2000? What year are we talking about? Dave Wannstedt's record with the Dolphins. Dave Wannstedt's record with the Dolphins. Dave Wannstedt's record with the Dolphins. Jesus, can't even get him to come up. Oh, you blocked Cliff. I just don't understand why he got so butthurt about Dave Wannstedt. It's all right to have disagreements. You like Dave Wannstedt, cool. First off, I'm pretty sure we're all casual fans. I mean, I wasn't not necessarily casual fans, but I mean, he had nothing positive to say about the team. He was just angry. He was just angry, I guess. Do you guys like Dave Wannstedt? Did you guys think he was this all world coach? I I I just I wasn't a fan of Dave Wannstedt. I wasn't. I just wasn't. But they each their own, I guess. You know, they each their own. He certainly did. He definitely did unsubscribe. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't be everybody's cup of tea. You know what I mean? Well, what's not a casual fan? A professional fan? You know what I mean? Like, are we professional fans? I appreciate that, Jose. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. There's always one. Dolphin Don says, I hate the word casual fan. Laugh out loud, professional fan, man. That did make me laugh. I mean, what else is there? Raphael, I like Davis head coach. That's one thing I hate about Jimmy Johnson is he put Dave in charge. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I remember it happening and I feel like he pushed Dan out. And not to say that Dan would have came back, but I feel like maybe that's what I hold against Dave the most is that I feel like he pushed Dan out. And Dan was on his last leg. Don't get me wrong. Dan wasn't the same player that he had been in the past, but the fact that I feel like he had something with Dan leaving to do with Dan leaving that definitely affected my opinion of Dave Wannstedt. I'm an immense fan and I'm angry, but by no means do I attack other fans. People got to take stuff on people, I guess. I love everyone here. Laugh out loud. We all just passionate. I agree. He unsubscribed to me as well. You're in good company. So who's he subscribed to, I wonder? I agree. Unfortunately, we had only average to below average coaches since Shula. Yeah, I mean, Wannstedt did nothing crazy with like again, I feel like we had great defenses when Dave Wannstedt was here. Great defenses. What else, Santiago? I mean, I feel like them fans are more casual than anything. You don't really know what you're talking about. I feel like they get force fed information from somewhere, and that's all they can believe. They become fan of a certain podcast, and they can only believe the information from that one person. But you know, To each their own. I'm not going to bash anybody for their opinion, and I'm not always correct, and I don't pretend to be. I am not all knowing. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody is. Not anybody is all knowing. Frozen Fin fan says we have to understand that by large, our fan base is extremely jaded, and who can blame us? 26 years drought. That'll hurt most fans. You good, Big C. He wants to go, then bye bye. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I wish we gave Todd Bowles a chance or then Campbell, both in terms. Ben should have stayed. And that's the thing, Scotty, is that none of us are all knowing. You know what I mean? If we all knew what Dan Campbell was going to turn into, or we all knew what Todd Bowles was going to turn into, and you can say that you like Dan Campbell and you can say that you like Todd Bowles back then, but you didn't know that they were going to become what they became. I appreciate that, Shake. It's because none of us are, what makes me more qualified than you to speak on it. And even if you work for the Miami Dolphins, or if you're a Omar Kelly, or you're a Dave Hyde, or you know what I mean? Barry Jackson, do you get more inside information? Yeah, but your opinion is still your opinion. And that doesn't always make your opinion right. Your opinion is still your opinion. And that doesn't make you godly, unworldly, and make you always right. It just doesn't. This franchise took a trajectory after Marino that set us back years, and only by lucky trades, picks from that kept us fans. Ricky Williams, Jay Ajayi, Brandon Marshall. We have names, not rings. I agree, Miller. If we could have put some type of offense with that defense that we had with Jason Taylor, Trace Armstrong, Daryl Gardner, Zach Thomas, Pat Surtain, Sam Madison, Brock Marion, man, oh man, the names and names and names on that team. That was a defense that I still think is underrated to this day. At least he gave us something to talk about. Give you something to talk about. How about love, love, love? That dude has some internal issues. Well, good for him. I hope he has a blessed day. I hope he gets the information. He can be miserable and give his opinion. And it is what it is. It is what it is. But I do know this. I know there was no 14 games in the year 2000. I knew that. I might be a casual fan, but I knew there was more than 14 games in the year 2000. What up, Cat? Make sure we hit that like button for me, please. Let's hit that like button in spite of Cliff. If you're over on X watching, come on over and join us on the Fin Posse podcast on YouTube. You know what I mean? We have open fan discussion on here. Fans are able to join the show if they'd like. You're always able to come on the show and have a discussion. Everybody's opinion is valuable around here. We care about everybody's opinion. In the year 2000, that was an old canon skit. I'm showing my age, laugh out loud. Scotty, I remember filling up the bathtub with water in the year 2000 because we thought that the computers were going to seize up. You didn't know what was going to happen. I wish we would have got Scatterboo just to utilize him as a fullback, bring back the Zonka plays, laugh out loud, but sadly, no. Yeah, I like Cam Scatterboo a lot too, but I do think we got a good back in. I think we got a good back in Ollie. I really do. What up, Cap? Laugh out loud, Scotty. In the year 2000, Y2K. Yeah, Shake. You know. Loved Ricky Williams, beast. Yeah, Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams was awesome. Was awesome. I wish we got Damian Martinez. Welcome, Q. I just seen that you subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you join us Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Well, usually it's about 10:05. I'd be a little late. I ain't gonna front. But yeah, thanks for your subscription. I hope you stick around and give your opinion on stuff and talk Dolphins football with us. In your opinion, how long before Jordan Phillips starts? It depends how much we incorporate a 4-3 defense. I would love to see a defense where, you know, in a perfect world, if we ran a 4-3 this year, well, I don't know if he'd be ready this year. Let's say next year, if we had the same roster, and I know we won't, but I'd put Phillips and Grant in. Well, no, it'd probably be a couple years, honestly. It'd probably be a couple years because I think Jordan Phillips would eventually take Zach Sealer's spot. I think Jordan Phillips would eventually take Zach Sealer's spot. Because if we ran a 4-3, I'd put a Sealer and Grant in the middle with probably Chubb and Phillips on the outside, or Chubb and on the outside, I'd probably put Chubb and Phillips, or chopping Phillips, and have the other one at outside linebacker. Phillips will contribute immediately. I'm thinking 30% of plays will see him. Yeah, I think he might come on the field when Grant comes off. But I'm hoping Grant plays more plays than what they assume he's gonna. But as far as a full-time starter, I think Phillips ends up taking Zach Sealer's job down the road. I think he takes that job down the road. All right, folks, I'm about to cut out. I hope you enjoy your weekend. If we sign any defensive backs over this weekend or anything pops off, I will be here to hit you with the wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. I agree, Scotty. Weaver just needs to find a way to keep Chubb, Sealer, Grant, Phillips, Chop, and Brooks on the field as much as possible together. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're 100% on that, Scotty. 100%. But all right, folks, I'll see you again Monday. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for sticking with me, not unsubscribing, not bashing me. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And you know what it is. Fins up, baby. Forever and always, no matter what, coming from a casual fan. Peace.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine. From pain that's a blessing, new focus, no guessing. Just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. people like sheep, move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing